I have 5 takeaways for you from my week-long trip to Disney World with my mom. Hi friends, Laura Krumzak here with the Disney Slowdown. I just finished a week-long vacation to Disney World with my mom. It was her first trip, and I have 5 takeaways for you that I think are really going to help you plan your Disney vacation. And stay tuned to the very end because I have a gift for you. Yes, a true gift, I promise. Hang out with me and we'll catch that at the end. Just a little bit about my Disney World journey for your reference. I am a Florida AP holder. My family of 5 took our first 3 consecutive day vacation back in the spring of 2023. After that, my kids and I upgraded to passes, and then I renewed my pass along with my 17-year-old. And for the most part, we've just been going down for the day and coming back up. I don't usually spend the night. I don't usually get multiple days in the park, but my mom informed me that she had never been to Disney World and she wanted to go. So we decided to take her on a week-long trip. If you were here in the fall, we took several weeks and planned out the vacation and planned out what was going to be a priority for her. If you haven't seen those and if you desire to watch those, I will link that playlist right here for you. Disney World has so many layers. You're not going to be able to do everything in one trip, no matter how long you stay. But that's what keeps you coming back. Because at the end of my mom's trip, even though we had some hang-ups, she says she wants to come back. And she wants to come back for food and wine. So we're going to back it up a little bit, not do December, and see if we can't hit the food and wine in a sweet spot. Low crowds, good weather, no hurricanes, and Christmas decorations. My first takeaway for you is to hold your plans with an open hand. We planned it out and I didn't have everything to the minute and I wasn't holding the clipboard of fun checking off my list. We had ideas, we had guidelines of things we wanted to accomplish in each park. But let me tell you what, things were going sideways from the very beginning. And rope drop, even though we were 15 minutes away from the parks, I could not get my people up and out and to the parks before 11 a.m. I don't know how anybody does it when they've got a massive group of people. I had 3 other people and they were like mules just digging in. And very early in the beginning of the trip, I had to come to an agreement with myself that we've already decided to spend the money. The tickets had already been purchased. In the end, it's just a trip for my mom to enjoy, and we're going to get done as much as we get done, and it's going to be okay. So holding those plans with an open hand, being able to pivot is very helpful. I know it doesn't feel like enough, but if you truly focus on 3 priorities per park, that should be your limit. I know you think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be there 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. and you only want me to accomplish 3 things. Yes, because maybe you don't get there for rope drop. Maybe there are crowds. Maybe there's a lot of traffic. Rides go down all the time. And then if you have multiple people trying to go in different directions and somebody wants to go shopping and somebody wants to ride rides and somebody wants to go see a show, it can be very difficult to get a consensus. But if you say, okay, Magic Kingdom, these are the 3 things that we want to accomplish and everything else is icing, I think you're going to have a better trip than if you say we've got 15 things to get done and at the end, if you only get 12 of them done, are you going to feel like you had a bad day because you didn't accomplish everything? It really is a mindset. It's better to just have a list of 3 things and make them a priority. Actually stick to them. One thing that we wanted to do in Epcot was to see the Christmas storytellers in World Showcase. Almost every World Pavilion had some kind of a live entertainment, special Christmas storyteller. The problem is they were really set up like random characters, because there would be a sign out saying, okay, from 10:15 until 6:15, they'll come out. But there wasn't a set time as to, are they coming out every 20 minutes? Are they coming out every hour? It was just during that window. We actually didn't catch but maybe 2 of them as we were walking by to do something else. If that was something that we truly wanted to focus on, we would have needed to meander a little bit more in each of the pavilions in World Showcase and wait around for that storyteller and then move on to the next. It was something that we said, boy, this would be really nice. My mom would enjoy it. But at the end of the day, it got knocked way down on the priority list because it wasn't on a set schedule. And it was very hard to figure out when they were coming out. The whole time that we were planning, I kept asking my oldest daughter, who's 24 years old, is there anything you want to do? And she's like, nope, I'm just going to follow along. Nope, no problem. Well, we get to Hollywood Studios, Galaxy's Edge. We knew that she wanted to see that, but she kept seeing characters and she's like, oh, I want to get a picture with Chewbacca. I want to get a picture with all these characters. So as soon as we saw a character, then we'd pivot and we went the other direction. And of course, her favorite character we happened upon, Goofy, so we had to stop for Goofy. And I will say, the character interactions are just fabulous. If you're passing by those characters, please don't. Meet somebody in some park somewhere. They were great. Goofy, my 17-year-old daughter, Samara, was wearing a villain shirt, and Goofy was like, oh, I don't know. You making me concerned with this shirt here. And then instead of giving her a hug, he shook her hand. It was great. It just elevated that interaction for us, and it was very memorable. Another tip that I have for you is to be sure to pack your protein snacks in your bags. You do not want to be hangry and not be able to get food. Utilize mobile order. That's going to be the best use of your time. But if there's a lot of people or the restaurant's really busy, you could be waiting an hour before you can pick up your food. Just because you mobile order doesn't mean that your window is right now. So make sure you have protein in your bag. You can find all the sugar you want all across Disney, I promise you. But that protein is what's going to keep you going. To park hop or not park hop, that is the question. One of the things that went sideways before we even got on Disney World property, my mom was going to be able to get the military tickets and we were not able to get the military tickets. So I had spent a couple of months planning on us having a park hopper ticket. So when I ended up having to purchase the regular tickets from Disney, I decided to go ahead and pay extra for the park hopper. I'm glad that we had it because my daughter and I already have a park hopper with the annual pass, but had we known in the fall that we weren't going to be able to get the military tickets, I don't think I would have planned for park hopping. And here's why. It was a good strategy to go to the park that closed early for a party day. In December, Magic Kingdom closes 4 days a week at 6 p.m., which means no evening fireworks. And guess what? The rest of the time, they only had the fireworks at 8 p.m., which made it very difficult to get back there and through the crowds. Leaving at 6 p.m. after Magic Kingdom, we went over to Epcot, but we didn't do anything spectacular that was necessarily on our bucket list. Just leaving the parks at 6 and going back to the resort and having a relaxing time, that would have been fine. We didn't necessarily need to go to another park. And then the day that we planned to go to Magic Kingdom from Animal Kingdom to catch Happily Ever After, it took us over an hour to go from Animal Kingdom, get to Ticket and Transportation Center. We drove our own car. And then from there, we had to take the tram in, and then we took the ferry. It was 7:25 when we were on that ferry, and we had left Animal Kingdom at 6:15. It doesn't look like it should take that long, but it really does. So I would plan, when you're doing your planning, you're like, okay, if it takes us an hour and a half to get from one park to the other, is it worth the park hopper? Because I thought hopefully we would be able to catch a late night happily ever after, like maybe they would show it at even 10 o'clock, but they didn't. They only showed it at 8. And sometimes they change those on the day of, so we're just kind of waiting and seeing, but they never had a late one. By the time we scanned in to Magic Kingdom and made our way down Main Street, everybody had already gotten their standing spot for the fireworks. We could not get through the crowd. We couldn't get anywhere. We ended up in front of Plaza Restaurant. There were strollers everywhere. There were people everywhere. We could not get through. We were stuck. And we were stuck in front of the window. So here's another tip. This is just a freebie for you. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, if you want great seats for the fireworks, just book a dining reservation at one of the restaurants in Magic Kingdom that has a firework view. And maybe you can get a table by the window and you can see the fireworks while you're sitting down and enjoying your dinner. No, the people that were doing just that at Plaza Restaurant on Main Street, they got the view of the back of my head. It was nothing but people and strollers, and we could not move. So I would do way more research before you make that part of your plan. But that's something you want to scope out. That's going to be my goal for 2025. I'm going to write that down actually. Where's a good place to be for Magic Kingdom fireworks? But I don't think we really would have needed that in our life, and we could have skipped that entirely. Then when we left Magic Kingdom, we were just kind of making our way out. My mom wanted to do a little shopping. We got a couple of pictures on Main Street. But when we left Magic Kingdom, it was 10 o'clock and everybody was leaving. Oh my gosh, if I would have looked at my watch, we would have just stayed and lingered a little bit longer and let all the people filter out, because the lines for the monorails were ridiculous. The lines for the ferry boat was ridiculous. That was not the best moment. I don't think there is an actual slow time for Disney. Disney has worked really hard to draw people in during those previous slow times, and the crowds are pretty consistent. I know there's vloggers out there, YouTube channels that are saying Disney is slow and Disney is empty. And I do remember that in July, Disney was really empty based on previous years of July. And ours wasn't terrible. We were there right before Christmas, but it was still relatively crowded. I mean, it was, I would say, Disney normal, but Jungle Cruise was 40 minutes, so that's not terrible. You know, in Epcot, Frozen and Remy's were both consistently an hour or longer. Rise of the Resistance, Tower of Terror, those were both very long waits. We did get to ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think that was like a 40-minute wait, so that's kind of my threshold, is at 40 minutes. And I will say too that don't freak out entirely when you look at the My Disney Experience app and you see those wait times. Now, the 4 hours wait times that they were having between Christmas and New Year's, yeah, that's ridiculous. I have no desire to go to the parks when there's anything has got a 4-hour wait, and all of your top tier rides had 4-hour waits. I don't understand. There might be something magical about being in Disney with a bazillion people, but I'd rather stay at home in my pajamas and watch movies, frankly. I can make my own popcorn. But 40 minutes is about my threshold, and I haven't found it to where it's actually been 40 minutes. Most of them came in about 25 to 30 minutes, and it's a science. You do have to understand that. I don't know that they're intentionally inflating wait times in order to sell the Premier Pass or the Multi-Pass Lightning Lane. They do have to try to account for how many people will be coming in through the Lightning Lane, but I haven't had a ride go up to or over the estimated wait time yet. It's just something to be aware of. I've been thinking hard about this channel and what I want it to become. I really want it to help new people, new families who are trying to plan Disney, and they are are just a little intimidated. I don't think you have to buy the Premier Pass Lightning Lane or the Multi-Pass Lightning Lane or Single Pass Lightning Lane. I don't think you have to stay on property to have a good time. I understand that it's expensive, and I understand that you want to squeeze every ounce of enjoyment out of the money that you're spending, but I think that if you try to squeeze too hard to try to get blood out of a turnip, you're going to end up not enjoying your time. And if your family is like my family, pushing them to the limit is just going to make somebody flip their lid and melt down. And then nobody's having a good time, because sometimes for our family, it takes a full day to reset. So if you're in that boat and DAS is no longer an option for most of us, and Disney might be a little intimidating, just hang out with me, because I've got some tips and tricks to help you navigate the parks with ease and smoothness and have a good time. I promise you. My last tip for you is to plan downtime. I know it is so tempting to say, okay, if I get 4 days, then maybe I should get the 5th day, or maybe I should get the 6th day, because you're only paying like another $20 per person. I know, I get the Disney math. The more days, the less the cost is per day. I understand. And it's so tempting to fill in all that time and try to squeeze out all the fun that you can. And I was guilty of that as well. I didn't actually say this on my channel, but I was planning to take my mom to Universal. I had tickets to Universal thanks to my friends. So appreciative. And then the day went sideways and it didn't happen. And I was gutted. I was totally gutted. But got back to the resort. I had to regroup myself. And then we ended up taking our plans for Sunday and moving them to Saturday. So we went and we checked out the gingerbread structures at the Contemporary Resort and at the Grand Floridian. And then we went to Disney Springs for dinner. That left Sunday open, where we just sat and chilled at the resort. And I'm telling you, that was the best plan, and I'm really sorry that I didn't try to do that before. I know that when my family went to Universal and we had booked our days at the Universal Resort, we didn't think it was a big deal to hang out and swim in the pool. Like, we're not there to swim in the pool. We just got Universal annual passes. We want to go check out the parks. But my 2 younger kids were mad because they wanted to swim in the pool. But when we went back in January and did another 3-day stint, I said, okay, we'll stop and I'll take you back to the resort and you guys can swim in the pool in the afternoon. And that's what they did, and they were perfectly happy. So don't underestimate the amount of enjoyment you can get out of a relaxation day and out of the resort that you're staying at, because these resorts are trying to be the destination. Even if you don't go to an amusement park, these resorts have a lot going on. They've got activities, fun zones, and putt-putt golf, and lazy rivers, and a lot of times, if you didn't want to, you wouldn't have to leave the resort. So I just encourage you, plan some down time in your schedule. You will thank me later. Before I get to my free gift for you, I want to mention one thing. If you were planning along with us in the fall, you know that my mom eats gluten-free. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of a review of what we tried. As far as the gluten-free items that we had, my mom really enjoyed the gluten-free bun, and I think we had that in 2 places. I think we ate that at the Connections Eatery, and I believe we also had it at Backlot. So if you have people who have special dietary needs and they don't want to be adventurous eaters, the gluten-free bun is good. The cookies, we didn't ever catch the brownie. The first place that we tried to get the cookie was at Chester and Hester's in Animal Kingdom, and it was amazing. It was this huge cookie, this huge chocolate chip cookie from David's. It was gluten-free. I tried it. It was very tasty. It was soft and moist and flavorful. You couldn't even tell that it was gluten-free. It wasn't gritty or sandy. It was amazing. We tried to go to Pinocchio's Village House and get more of those David's cookies, but they did not have David's. They had a completely different brand, and these were almost like Famous Amos. And we didn't try these while we were there. My mom brought them home and ate them, and she said that they were tasty. But I'm thinking the David's is way better. And you can go online and order a box of David's gluten-free chocolate chip cookies for yourself if you're not making it to Animal Kingdom, or if you miss out. I was surprised at Satuli Canteen. I used the mobile order, and because they had noodle dishes and rice dishes, we were thinking more Asian, but the rice came out more Spanish rice with a lot of seasoning in it. It was tasty and we all enjoyed it. We were surprised by the Spanish rice, and then we weren't as excited about Eat as we thought we would be. We didn't enjoy it as much. And that's either because we don't eat true, authentic Indian fare, which is entirely possible. It's the Indian food that we have had has been too Americanized. Eating more authentic Indian food, we didn't think it was fabulous. All right, here it is, my free gift for you. I accidentally booked this resort that ended up being on the back porch of Disney. It's a Holiday Inn Vacation Club, and this resort was fabulous. It was beautiful, 1,400 acres, 4 different golf courses. One of them was designed by Arnold Palmer, which was really funny because my daughter said, she's like, the iced tea guy? I'm like, you mean the pro golfer? Kids, but I digress. They had 2 36-hole miniature golf courses, amazing pools, a lazy river, a fun zone for the kids, several restaurants that were tasty. We ate at a couple of them, and I tell you, you couldn't go wrong. And yes, it's cold in Florida right now. I picked this hoodie up at the resort. I had some money to spend, and it was my birthday, so why not, right? But my free gift for you, I have a referral that I can send in. Actually, I have to gather some information from you, and there's a link in the description box below. So if you click on that link, give me the information that they need, it'll shoot it over to me. I will send them a quick email. I'll send you an email as well, letting you know I got it and I'm sending it out. And you can stay at this resort for 5 days and 4 nights for $199 US. Yes, it's not going to me, it's going to them. And if you take a tour of the resort, first of all, ask for Jose, request Jose from Puerto Rico. He was delightful, so you can tell him that I said hi. And when you take a tour, you get $100 back. That means that you're staying 4 nights at a resort on the back porch of Disney for $99. That is no joke. I mean, you want to talk about cutting the expense of your Disney vacation, that's one way to do it. I'm telling you, even if you're not going to Disney, if you're just trying to find a cheap way to take a vacation, this is for you. My husband and I, we purchased our first timeshare when we got married in Las Vegas 20 years ago. Oh, we've loved it. When we didn't have money, we could still afford 2 round-trip tickets to Vegas and $100 for groceries, and kind of made it like a staycation. I remember years when we would go out there with a season of a show on DVD. This was way before streaming. And we would sit in our resort and we would binge watch a show that we couldn't watch when, the kids were around, because we left the kids with grandma. But we'd go out there, we'd hang out at the resort, we'd walk the strip, see what's new, see what's different, catch dinner, cook some food, binge watch these shows. We had just a great time. It really was a staycation without all the home projects looking you in the face. Well, same thing with this. This is a beautiful resort. There is so much to do. Your kids are going to love it. When I checked in, they offered, I think it was like $20 for 2 days at the fun zone. They basically give you wristbands, and that fun zone, the putt-putt golf, the bouncy things, whatever else they had there. So I bought that for my kids, the 24-year-old and the 17-year-old, and they had a great time. We really did enjoy ourselves, and I'm telling you, you're gonna love it too. And I'm so excited for you to go and have a good vacation that doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. I hope these tips were helpful for you, and I hope that you take my advice to heart when you're planning your vacation, because if you go back and look at those planning videos, I didn't feel like I was trying to go over the top with doing all the things. We didn't even get half of done what I thought we would. 18,000 steps a day is no joke. And that was with us not even getting to the parks until 11 a.m. and then leaving 9, 10 o'clock at night. That's still a full day, 19,000 steps. And then if you think about little kids who have to take 2 steps to one of yours, That's 40,000 steps. No wonder people get tired in Disney. And it's important to take care of yourself and to take those breaks and to just soak it all in. This channel is going to be for you if you are planning a vacation, but you just don't know what to do and you really don't have the people in your family that can do all the things. I want you to enjoy yourself and I want you to get the most out of your money that you're spending at Disney without pushing everybody over the edge. Thanks for tuning in with me, and I'll see you on my next video.